All right, so the polished presentation is done. Alphabet has laid out its vision. They've shown off some absolutely staggering revenue numbers. But this is where the real story starts. The unscripted, high-stakes interrogation from Wall Street.
This is the moment, where the carefully crafted corporate narrative smacks right into reality. Forget the curated highlights for a second. The analyst Q&A is where we find out what Wall Street is truly worried about, what they're betting on, and frankly, where they see the cracks in Alphabet's AI-fueled future.
So what we've done is taken that whole hour-long grilling session and boiled it down to 5 key battlegrounds. We're going to start with Wall Street's biggest fears, then dive deep into the heart of Google search, expand out to the other parts of the empire, take a look at the moonshots, and finally, unpack the central tension that really defines Alphabet's road ahead.
Okay, let's dive right in. Once you strip away all the pleasantries, all the thanks for the question stuff, the analysts who cover Alphabet really came to this call with 2 massive, interconnected questions looming over absolutely everything.
This, right here, is the absolute #1 thing on everyone's mind. I mean, think about it. Google Search is one of the most profitable machines in the history of business. So as AI comes in and transforms that experience with things like AI overviews and conversational modes, investors are laser-focused on one question. Is this going to mess up the cash cow? They're worried it could monetize at a lower rate and they need reassurance, badly.
And then there's the other side of that same coin, the cost. Alphabet is pouring tens of billions of dollars every single quarter into the infrastructure needed to power this AI revolution. So naturally, analysts are pushing really hard to understand the return on that investment. Are these gigantic, eye-watering capital expenditures actually turning into real profitable growth? That's what they want to know.
Okay, so that naturally brings us to the main event, the most critical battleground of the entire call, the core search business. This is where the analysts grilled the executives the hardest, really trying to get under the hood and understand the financial implications of this massive shift to AI. So there was this one key term that just kept popping up, agentic e-commerce. Think of it like this. Instead of you spending hours searching for a product, you just tell an AI assistant what you want, and it does the research. It compares the options, and it might even make the purchase for you. Now that's a huge potential change, and you can see why analysts are trying to figure out how Google's ad model fits into that new world.
Now, to really get what the execs were saying in response, you got to understand the 2 main ways AI is showing up on the page right now. You've got AI overviews. Those are the summaries you're seeing at the top of a lot of your standard search results. And then you have AI mode, which is a totally separate chat-like experience where you can have a real back-and-forth conversation. Analysts wanted to know the financial impact of both. And this, right here, this is the money quote. Facing these questions head-on, the chief business officer, Philipp Schindler, basically gave the market exactly what it was desperate to hear. His message was clear. Even with ads showing up in above and below these new AI summaries, the fundamental economics, they're not really changing.
And hey, it's not just talk. The numbers seem to back this up. Schindler pointed out that the core mechanics of the ad business are still incredibly strong. Paid clicks are up a healthy 10% compared to last year, and, this is the crucial part, the amount advertisers are willing to pay for each of those clicks is also up 7%. That suggests that even with all the new formats, the value for advertisers is still there. So look, search is obviously the main event, but the Q&A show that Alphabet's strategy is way, way bigger than just that. The questions analysts asked about the cloud, about their custom chips, and about YouTube, they really reveal how the company is building this multi-pronged, AI-powered empire. And it all starts at the very foundation of this whole empire, with their own hardware. Alphabet has been investing for years in its own custom chips. They're called Tensor Processing Units, or TPUs. And this is not just some side project. It's a core strategic advantage that lets them optimize their entire AI stack from the ground up. This is where CEO Sundar Pichai really hammered home what he sees as Google's secret sauce compared to the other big cloud providers. They control everything. The custom chips at the bottom, the world-class AI models like Gemini in the middle, and the final applications on top. This full-stack control is their key weapon in the incredibly fierce cloud wars. And you know what? It looks like that strategy is really paying off. I mean, in a huge way. They revealed that their AI products in the cloud are already a multi-billion-dollar per quarter business. They're signing more of these massive billion-dollar-plus deals than ever before. And get this? They've become the go-to platform for the world's top AI research labs. This is real, tangible proof that the full-stack bet is working. All right, let's switch gears to YouTube. Philip Schindler used this really great analogy to explain the business. He called it a flywheel. It starts with investing in creators, making YouTube the best place for them to be. That in turn attracts billions of viewers, and that massive audience gets monetized through both ads and subscriptions, and then that revenue is plowed right back in to fund more creators, which starts the whole cycle over again, spending faster and faster.
So he calls this the twin engine strategy. Advertising is still the behemoth, obviously, but subscriptions are growing at lightning speed. But here's the really interesting part, the key insight that came out of the call. A single paying subscriber is actually more valuable to YouTube and its creators than an ad-supported user. Now that completely changes the growth equation.
Okay, so beyond the stuff that's making all the money right now, analysts always love to poke at the long-term, kind of speculative projects Alphabet calls its other bets. And this time, the spotlight was really on the self-driving car company Waymo.
And one analyst asked a really sharp, forward-looking question. They basically asked, when is Waymo going to stop feeling like this cool science project on the side and start acting like a real part of the Google ecosystem we all use? You know, when will your Gemini assistant see your flight details and just automatically book a Waymo to the airport for you?
And Sundar Pichai's answer made it super clear that this is exactly what they're thinking about. While the immediate focus is on scaling up and expanding globally, he actually put a date on that integration. By 2026, he said, expect to see in-car experiences powered directly by Gemini and YouTube. The idea is to transform the ride from just simple transport into a personalized media hub.
All right, so we've gone through all of that. After an hour of pretty intense questioning, what's the big takeaway? The whole Q&A session really boils down to one central, fascinating tension for the company.
On the one hand, the company's strategy is crystal clear, no question about it. From the top down, they are all in on AI. Every single product, every investment, every executive statement is about transforming Alphabet into an AI-first company, and they are executing on that vision with incredible speed and confidence.
And the scale of this bet, well, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. The company is now forecasting annual capital expenditures of $91 to $93 billion, with a B. That is the price tag for building the future, spent mostly on the raw infrastructure they need to power their AI ambitions.
But then, and this is the other side of that coin, there's this lingering uncertainty. For all the confident answers and all the strong numbers, this call revealed that the precise economics of this AI-first world are still a work in progress. So Wall Street sees the vision, they get it, but they're still squinting, trying to see the exact business model.
So in the end, Alphabet is making one of the biggest, boldest bets in corporate history, period. This Q&A session shows they have a clear, comprehensive plan to win. But it also shows that the final chapter, the one where we all find out if this absolutely colossal investment truly pays off, well, that's still to be written.